What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Elspeth von Draken Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, the land ship has been joined by two now steam tanks of the Emperor's Wrath variety, and the Mechanist's army has begun its glorious fledgling action. Of course, we've got more land ships on the way, 4 of them for now until we get some more steam tanks, and that should make the army pretty darn interesting. And then hopefully within, I don't know, 10 to 15 turns, the airship field, or whatever it's called, will be constructed in Black Crag, and we'll be able to start getting thunder barges on the field. 'Twould be nice. I still think that the Karazakarak airfield should, as a landmark, automatically allow for construction of copters, bombers, and barges, because I feel like it's silly that it doesn't, but, well, you know, that's for SFO to fix. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time around, let's set up another ambush, see if we can't get Festus to come out of his hidey hole in the brass keep here, and I feel like we want to try the ambush in a grassland, not, yeah, grassland and, oh, you can't go there, fine. Grassland and not the wooded territory, because obviously the machines don't like moving around through woods all that much. Anyway, you can go into channel, y'all can wait until hopefully Festus comes on out to play. You can, I guess, increase mobility, Mr. Mechanist, and the rest of the points will probably have to be saved for all of this preparation stuff. Get you on that mechanical steed ASAP. We also need to get the other mechanist from this army, and actually we also need to move this army, which I think we're going to send north to Vard Camp for now, since Serena Katrin seems to be going for Greyling Moot. You guys need to actually find yourselves a battle. It looks like Kislev is doing fairly well out here in Norska, but I think, well, we played a pretty decent role in that, and knocking out both Draika and the Undead. The Undead not threatening the Dwarfs meant the Dwarfs had an easy time with Azag, and us keeping Festus down probably helped that as well. And I guess the fact that the Goromadni tribe, for whatever reason, isn't at war with Kislev, which is making them not get distracted by them. Although I do want to send an army up here anyway to shore up that Empire border. Anyway, I believe we are good to go for next turn. Yes, yes, it seems to be yes, so let's end the turn. Skip, 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 go. Alright, while the turn is ending, once again we did reach the engagement threshold, and so once again we'll be doing an hour-long episode here. And once again, I've said you guys have been doing such a good job with the engagement threshold on this particular campaign, that what we'll do, no peace treaty for you, Aranessa, no thank you. What we'll do is essentially 2 episodes in a day, or rather, the next episode will be in 12 hours rather than 24, effectively. There won't be posted like immediately one after another, because, well, it takes a long time for me to actually load the episodes, but you get the idea. Anyway, what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to take Myrmidons. Would you be able to take Myrmidons? I don't know. What I do know is we can't reach Verdanos, so we're gonna pop you into ambush right... I mean, let's go right here. Let's say right here, and then hopefully it doesn't fail. In fact, you know what? Move up close to Verdanos. Missile focus, recruit the following type of unit: missile infantry? Okay, sure. We tend to do that. Alright, then what we're going to do is we're going to summon a temporary lord here. I guess, Helmut Feuerbach, you've been our temporary lord many a time, and you will be our temporary lord here again. And then you can sit in Myrmidons. What you can then do is summon the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, who we were going to put into the army with Bruckner, so that he can lead them. And then if they besiege this, you should hopefully be able to hold with those units together. We could even... where are the Gryphites here? Actually, this buff probably doesn't... I think you're fine. I was thinking about getting them that buff, but it probably isn't super necessary. Especially as we don't know what kind of army Feuerbach will lead. Well, actually, I kind of do know what kind of army Feuerbach will lead, and frankly... And we do need somebody to lead a cavalry army, and you have cavalry buffs, don't you? Speed and charge for cavalry units. versus Imperial training, which makes you a much tougher fighter yourself. But yeah, all right, fine. You know what? Let's do Honest Steel for you. We may even have him lead Bruckner around later on if we separate him from Elspeth's army, though I imagine it's not the biggest priority at the moment, as we have other armies and stuff to think about. Anyway, Baldric Zintler, let's keep on going with you, sir. Wait, did we move you this turn, or did Festus just not even bother trying to come out? Alright, Festus, it's fine. We can't attack Brasskeep until we have more units in the form of these land ships, so we just gotta wait until they get up there to join all these armies. Nice. Boris von Sighofen, you can stay there. You with your land ships have moved, and Ulrika, you can go northward. Alright, looks like a little bit of building to do. Wait, where is Gotrek and Felix? How close are you to the next place? Let's also take a look at what Serena Catherine is doing. She's sitting still and Wolfric. Gonna go up to the Longship Graveyard. Will he win the fight is the question. If the rest of his army is full of mammoths and marauder champions, then he probably will. Hopefully he doesn't start retaking Norsk. What the heck? Crimson Skull? You guys are alive? Oh, not really, to be fair. Yeah, I'm just wondering whether we should move you down to deal with Wolfric. The thing is, once again, we don't know whether he'll win or not, so let's assume that he won't. Go into raiding stance, and set into Var camp, and ooh, hello. We got some defenders here. But the actual garrison at Var camp is kind of garbagey. Also, you really need to get rid of Kygas, dude. Yeah, you know what? I think we're going to sail Ibn Pfeiffer out. We're going to grab the Varg camp, we're going to sail out of it, and we're going to go this way to land at the Bilious Cliffs and start working on the Legion of Chaos to hopefully link up with Boris Ursus. He's survived this long, so we might as well help him out and be friendly. Anyway, you guys still staying there, and I already did, yeah? So let's check the buildings, shall we? You guys are looking okay. We could still build that landmark at Morgheim, but it's not super critical. I feel like if we're going to spend a big chunk of change right now, I'd rather get the Dwarf Ambassador, maybe? I think Dwarf Ambassador is the way to go. Oh, Myrmidons. You're about to get attacked. How's your growth looking? 95. Your growth is quite low, eh? But we probably still have to prioritize defenses, so start on the defenses there, but nonetheless I think we build the ambassador to the Karazhan Corps, just for the diplomatic relations with the dwarfs, as we have various other factions of theirs that we will want to ally with in the hopes of getting thunder barges quicker and easier. Expensive though it may be. Andreas Meyer. If we're going to separate Bruckner into a separate army, we could do like an all-mobile army, like a bunch of, Demigryph Knights and a few land ships, together with some Knights of the Black Rose, or maybe some Blazing Sun Knights, depending on how we do it, though I did want to put those into a fire army. We'll have to figure out how we do that one. And then we can have some Pistoliers or Outriders or whatever as the sort of range complement to that pile of cab. Basically an army that moves really, really fast, but isn't really a mechanized army. But I do like the idea of the land ships kind of supporting it, and acting as anchors, because they're ships, for the line. But anyway, we'll see. It would be nice. Oh, maybe we could do Knights of the Blazing Sun together with some Flagellants as an army. It certainly has potential. I wonder if the Sigmarite faction is dead or not. I should maybe try to research the Vision Sign of the Empire to see if they're alive. We'll find out. For now, let's end the turn and wait, diplomacy again. Carrick Hearn, still no. Western Provinces, yes. Now you want that military access, go for it. How many territories do you guys have now? You guys now have 10. Okay, now you're still alive. Defensive alliance with Kuran. Yeah, I don't know whether they're going to survive. Aetena's looking more likely to get that defensive alliance, though. That's nice. Still not happening. I mean, I guess we could declare war on... Wait. If we declare war on the Drowned, would that do it for us? Yeah, it would. Do we care about the drowned? They're kind of far from us. I mean, they could potentially sail over, but why not? Declare war on the drowned. Go for it.
Very well.
I want to see what's going on in Ulthuan, and there's a few units that we may want to grab from the elf stacks. Oh, looks like Morathi's doing okay out here. But at least Ulthuan hasn't fallen. Anyway, that might have changed some stuff about the...
Yes.
Well, not really.
Is it? Yes.
Still Ostland, still okay. Kuhan, close to a military alliance, actually. What's the likelihood that they fall? Well, either way, I feel like it's appropriate, so we're gonna do military alliance with them, and... Durthu, not super happy about him. But nonetheless.
Agreed.
It feels lore appropriate to me.
Sigma's will.
And the rest, I guess, we'll have to wait. Alright, that's fine. And that's fine. What's going on up here? Luen is going to bypass Langui to complete the Kuhan province and go for the Aness instead. Okay. Bit of an odd choice, sir, but it's all you, I guess it's on the turn. Alright, and the dwarfs should be happy about all this. Where are you gonna go, Mr. Kygast? Towards the Winter Pyre. Hopefully Malachi actually reacts to you instead of letting him take all his stuff. Please don't make us go over here and take Krakadrak for you. And, oh, go figure. These guys will actually attack. And we could auto-resolve, but I don't feel like I want to. We have the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, and we have Helmut Feuerbach, and who knows? The enemy might win the battle, so I feel like we do have to give them a chance, don't we? Yes, we do. What I don't know is whether the siege will work in a cinematic, because sieges are broken, but we'll give it a try, and if it doesn't work, I'll redo it. Go. Alrighty, here we go. A defensive siege, which we really don't get a lot of, so I'm excited about it just because it's a relative rarity, especially in vanilla where the AI is generally too cowardly to attack settlements because it just besieges them for 8 million years. Also, armor looking very, very nice. Sometimes you gotta take a closer look, but impressive. Impressive bit of plate. I also like how he's turned towards the Royal Altdorf Gryphites as if he is giving them a speech, though that may be Bruckner's job later on. Also, the Royal Altdorf Gryphites, I really love their color scheme, and I'm excited to put them into action as well. You get pets. You get pets. Alright, anyway, the way that we've set this up is thusly. The General and the Royal Altdorf Gryphites are alone over on this side to take out all of this, the enemy Lord, as well as a unit of Sirens and a few units of various types of zombie guns. Out here, we've deployed every single other unit that we have to hold the walls, activate the towers here, and fire down with our crossbows upon the units that try to go to the walls here and here as well, though I fear that the bats will most likely be able to reach us and start hurting our poor crossbows. That's okay though. We do also have spears and halberdiers down below guarding the gates, though we may have to send them up here, or at least a few of them up here, to deal with the bats. While this is happening, we are going to sally out with our Royal Altdorf Gryphites and with Helmut Feuerbach, and they are going to probably do a bit of damage to Sirens. I think once we put the Royal Altdorf Gryphites into an army, we gotta get them a Lichbone Pennant. They're already a nasty unit, make them all that much nastier, and by giving them magical damage as well. Would be really nice. We're going to now peel away from the Sirens as they are climbing the walls, and the unfortunate aspect of this is that the AI is rather poor at knowing what to do about enemies that are climbing. It kind of gets confused because it thinks that the unit is up on top of the walls, so it doesn't really attack them. But that's okay. We peel away and we kill off a few of the enemy gunners instead. And that should be reasonably easy. It looks like the enemy admiral is also climbing the walls with all of these other units. We're going to send in some swordsmen to try to help him out a little bit while we continue ripping these gunners apart. Very nice. And I fully expected these two units, or this one unit and the Lord, to be able to take care of all these guys here. And this is a good example of what I was talking about. You can't order a unit to attack a unit that's climbing, and even if you put them right up to them, they don't attack all these units down here, which is a bit of a shame. Hopefully they work on it at some point, because it is an additional tactic that would be nice to be able to use, to be able to sally out and attack units outside of the settlement, not necessarily hiding behind the walls. Anyway, the sirens will ignore, by the looks of it, our swordsmen and just go past them and head on down. I see that the AI still uses this behavior where it effectively doesn't really want to fight and wants to head into the settlement to capture points. It looks like we've done severe damage to a couple of the zombie mobs that were attempting to reach our lines between the towers and the crossbows firing upon them. These two zombies will probably melt away before they can ever achieve anything. And even in melee against the crossbows, they're probably not going to do too well. I mean, it's two units that are garbage in melee, but their units are tired and damaged and crumbling. So, we gotta give it 2 hours. Our crossbows have been forced off the walls, but that's alright, as down here they can fire up into the enemy deck droppers. The regular fellbats have already fallen, as they were in melee, whereas the deck droppers are staying up here and firing down upon us. Probably a lucky thing that the enemy has brought the regular deck droppers and not the bomber variety, as the bomber variety can be pretty darn nasty if you let them. I remember absolutely loving my time with the bomb using deck droppers in my Ruinous campaign, and I almost felt like they were kind of cheap. I mean, they're basically a poor man's Fire Leech Bola, not quite as good as Fire Leech Bolas, mind you, but still very, very effective for harassing enemy armies, especially those that have little to no anti-air. Anyway, it looks like the deck droppers are, well, dropping, though not the decks, as they will probably never find a deck again, as they have been given their true deaths. Out here we have the enemy has cleverly, accidentally but cleverly, captured the gate here, which keeps the Royal Altar of Griphites and Helmet Feuerbach outside of the settlement, and we're going to have to recapture it real quick with these swords to let them in. It would probably be faster to capture it rather than run all the way here, go through the gate, run all the way back, and deal with this. Anyway, that's going to take a little bit of time. Out here we have the Vampire Fleet Captain leading some zombies against some spears, and by the looks of it, pretty successfully. I don't imagine these zombies are contributing too much to this, as this is a handgun variant, but the Vampire Fleet Captain, a single one, should have no problem killing off a single unit of mere Empire swordsmen. It's a tier, or spearmen rather. Probably even worse. 47 melee defense is reasonably low, but these guys have only 20 melee attacks, so probably not what they're going to be particularly good at. Out here we got some sirens working together with some zombies to fight our halberdiers and our spears. Up on top of the wall we are going to reposition our crossbows such that they don't chase, or they don't get chased by sirens. Wait for the sirens to get engaged and then have the crossbows fire upon them. All right, nice little siege. I'm happy with this one. A good sign for the rest of the episode. Hopefully some more great battles to come as well. Anyway, we've now repositioned our crossbows, and they should be ready to start laying down some fire into the sirens. They've got 55% physical resistance, perhaps, but, well, it's not enough to really fully resist. If you guys could fire, that would be just swell. And there they go at last, and nice try, tower, nice try. This is the tier 4 tower that we saved up to upgrade, and you're supposed to be firing into this blob, which could really use a few shots. But it's okay, at least our crossbows are more accurate, and it looks like these sirens are dying, and the swordsmen and the halberdiers are still holding out here as well. and get a few more shots in there. How are you guys doing? Looks like Helmut and the Royal Altdorf Griffites are given chase now. Another unit of Sirens and the Vampire Fleet Captain are moving towards a minor supply location. As I said, they didn't want to clear the walls, they just wanted to cap things in the settlement, but that's not going to work out so well for them. And down here, the unit of zombie-powered gunnery mob with handguns have moved up the wall and are getting themselves killed, fighting some swords, though it looks like the Vampire Fleet Captain has pretty much defeated the unit of spears up here. We're going to keep the 2 units of crossbows around, however, as when that Vampire Fleet Captain comes down, and we're going to make sure to pincushion them as well. The swords are still holding up here. I'm still really loving the Nuln colors as well. It's really working for me. A little drab, perhaps, but it definitely works with all the Imperial stuff. Especially when you use plenty of gold in combination with the black and red. Black and red a little bit boring by itself, perhaps, but the gold, it makes it real nice. The other Emperor would approve. Anyway, the zombie pirate deckhands mobs melt away. The Sirens have been charged by our Royal Altdorf Griffites. Although, funnily enough, this isn't a bad, or at least it's not a horrifically bad matchup for the Sirens. The Altdorf Griffites are an elite unit that does physical damage, and tying them up with a unit of Sirens is really solid. If they were Cairnrights, this would actually be quite dangerous for the Royal Altdorf Griffites as well. And the enemy Vampire Fleet Captain, or Fleet Admiral rather, is in here, and Helmut Feuerbach is whacking away at him with that absolutely lovely looking gold sword there. A little bit too fancy, perhaps, but by the looks of all the blood upon him, not a ceremonial weapon by any means. The Altdorf Griffites have started to take damage and have dropped by about 30% of their HP while trying to work through that massive physical resistance on the Sirens, in addition to the melee attack being reduced by 8 due to Charmed, and the fact that they do magical armor-piercing damage, ghosts that they are. Fortunately, though, the Sirens are soon going to begin crumbling away, and then we'll just have the enemy captain to work through. And we've got a unit of swords that has slowly been approaching, getting ready to move in and help out. Out here, the Vampire Fleet Captain has gotten off the walls and has taken a few nice volleys from our crossbows, and a few more volleys should probably see them off, as long as we can actually get a nice firing solution, as it were. In fact, it looks like the enemy lord, or the enemy captain, begins to crumble away here. I also want to point out that we had another unit of Sirens working on this gate, and a unit of animated Hulks working on this one, but by the looks of it, they're not going to succeed. The captain crumbles, the swordsmen move in to just block him off for at least a few more seconds, and the crossbows bring her down. Bring her down. Bring her down. It disappeared when I did that. Alright, that worked out. Anyway. I tried to make it on cue. Well, those guys can keep working through the gate there while we just try to break apart the Vampire Fleet Admiral here. And just a few more hits, the Royal Altdorf Griffites charged out to allow the swordsmen to get a few hits in. And by the looks of it, have lost a few of those demigriffs, killing or damaging that enemy lord. A tide call comes in upon our blobbed up units. And the Vampire Fleet Admiral's still holding, quite impressively, I might add, though I imagine the Griffites are getting in each other's way. This isn't really what they're meant for, as it's a single unit and a small target to that. Too bad there's no Leviathans or Necrofex Colossi to hunt them down. Or to have them hunt down. But anyway, with that, it looks like the enemy lord is just about done for. They've reached their healing cap. Between the hunger and invocations of Neheka, I guess, they've been healing up quite nicely. But it's just not gonna hold. The gates still hold on the other side of the map, and there is nothing else left for our defenders to do, as the battle is ours. Very nice. Pyrrhic victory, but considering its damage to our garrisons, we really don't care. Alright, there we go. Fun little defense, and the Royal Altdorf Graphites were pretty instrumental in carrying the day there. Very nice. We will take the schematics since they're much harder to get than gold is at this point, and a single unit of Amethyst Ironsides at the current time costs like 2,000 schematics, which is quite a lot, so yeah. Why don't we take that for ourselves? Carl, what you want? You want us to declare war on the Broken Axe? We will, as soon as we have an army to send out there, and hopefully take some useful stuff. Next, we need to chase down what remains of this army before a new army arrives. You. Still not on that Confederate, eh? We'll get you. We'll confederate you eventually. So sorry, Karakharn, still no. Enemy killed in battle, a gambler's armor for you, sir, though I don't think you're gonna need it or hold on to it at the current time. Alberic is ready to go, and there's that diplomatic relations increase with the dwarfs. Be at war with Angrand. Interesting game, interesting. Curious that I wonder what has to happen for the game to ask you, what? Our ancient allies have failed us. Let the dwarves know that their time has come. Now is the age of Karl Franz. The reckoning will ours. Okay. Okay. Declare war. Odd way to say it, but yeah, I wonder what has to happen for it to trigger it to ask you to declare war on the dwarves. I'm just curious. Now, we're gonna chase this army down, and the way we will do that is thus. You're gonna go here, near to Verdanos. You are going to capture Verdanos, recapture, whatever. Like so, and we'll auto-resolve that. Oh, I should have transferred the Graphite. Okay, we'll do it next turn. Yeah, and you're gonna reoccupy it, which will allow Elspeth to continue moving. Another Forbidden Rod, nice. And hopefully destroy this little army. Then we gotta loop around to Rafrafa, or back around to Rafrafa real quick. Alright, good. And 86 schematics. Take the money instead. At 86, I'd rather have the 500 or whatever it offered us. Elspeth, you are good to go. March stance back up and get ready to head to Miragliano. And Rafrafa and Helmet, I guess for now, you're going to follow. Also, how are we doing out here? Still okay. I'd rather not declare war on Scarbrand until these guys have Thunder Barges ready for us, because the allegiance that it costs to build them will be significantly oh, hello, Festi. The allegiance will be significantly reduced, which is what we want. Alright, you need to go to Ergig. Hopefully they don't attack you here, but I guess we'll move some armies near you afterwards, if Festus does not want to fight, though we will take the fight if he lets us, in a second. That's you, Baldric. Eben. You... The heck are you doing? Alright, well this guy's not going to... I think this is just the AI being wacky. Nothing for this guy to be doing here. Kill it. With an auto-resolve. Please don't tell me it's gonna badly hurt our army. No, it's okay. We cannot get any schematics, but we can heal up to full for the next auto-resolve, so that's what we'll do. Then we'll hit the Varg camp, trade it to our allies, and screw off out of here. Auto-resolve that and occupy it. If we're trading it to our allies, I mean, we could sack it / loot and occupy it. Tempting. I don't know whether we have the movement to sack it, so let's loot and occupy it. It's not like we're keeping it either way. We'll hand it over in its current state. Amber Trance we don't care about. How are we doing out here? And Wulfric... Well, he hasn't won, but he is besieging this, which is curious. Alright, we'll let him do so. Now, assuming that there's nobody else to move, Ulrika, keep on traveling. I really wish you could use the gate to quick travel up to Godric and Felix, who have moved far, far away at this point, but we'll move you to join them. Let's get a new tech up and running. I am tempted by the ambassador to the Over-Tyrant just for the allied recruitment cost reduction, but we're not using it yet, so we can always do so later. The diplomatic relations with Kislev is irrelevant, but the immunity to snow attrition could be valuable. And we are going to build a cavalry army, which, well, could be useful if we build that before we do. Otherwise, We have a few state troops that we could access. Gunderman Surefires, Knights of the Everlasting Light, Stubborn Bulls, and Knights of Morr. I do feel like there should probably be some Knights of Morr together with some Knights of the Black Rose, though unfortunately I imagine the Knights of the Black Rose probably now outclass all the other Knights with the exception of Demigryph Knights. Noble Sons Abroad Pistoliers. I was tempted to get those. Swords of Ulrich and Karberg Greatswords. This one's pretty solid, actually. Especially if we want to build a melee infantry army with some great swords and stuff. And the Sons of Sigmar, like a Sigmarite army. Combined Karberg. Yeah, this one's pretty good. Alright, we'll keep an eye on this one, probably do it shortly. We don't know whether we have money remaining over, or still remaining at the end of the turn. Let's continue on Rifled Barrels, because it's an upgrade basically to our entire faction. Then let's level up, let's get into the fight. Root Marcher, Inspiring Presence, and... I mean... Mighty Forge. I wasn't originally going to use Zentler to lead this army, but unless we luck into a Mechanist Lord, and I don't know whether they exist, in the sense that I haven't actually seen any Mechanist Lords at this point, so we'll see. We'll see if they do. You, sir, are still saving your points, and I guess we can keep upgrading you. You've been around for a while now. You got a bunch of basic Empire troops, so let's give you Emperor's Finest. Why the heck not? Alright, you're gonna reinforce in regular stance, I guess. And we'll see if Festus runs or not. I guess the question is, if he runs, will he run towards the Brass Keep? If we attack him from this angle, we might be able to force him not to. Wait. Let's try this. Go around this way, and then go into regular stance, obviously, and try like this. He will not run. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. More action for the Wonder of the Age, the Painted Rose, and we'll name you shortly, sir. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I already absolutely love this army, and I smile ear to ear every time I see it in action, and it's only just begun. Just wait until we got more steam tanks, hopefully of the various kinds, and more land ships and thunder barges all in here. Thunder barges overhead of all this crazy nonsense happening at once, and the engineers on their mechanical steeds eventually helping out as well. Now, we're going to start the battle off as we usually do with a mortar fire from our hidden stalking wagon mortars. The enemy does have a pretty darn decent pile of infantry, which we can hopefully do a little bit of damage to, if we can get our mortars to actually hit them. Their accuracy obviously leaving something to be desired. We're also just going to straight up charge the enemy with our landship and our 2 steam tanks, as these units just don't care. And they certainly have the mass to get out if the enemy tries to trap them with Chaos Spawn and with Beasts of Nurgle and with other big units. But all those infantry are going to suffer. We also have an infinite, I believe, ammo mortar on the land ship, because I'm pretty sure that if it runs out of ammo, it keeps firing. The ammo that this registers is probably its cannon, but at the same time, in this army, they will never run out of ammunition, simply because we have all these war wagons with stock on them. Anyway, landship, yes, yes. Oh, I love this unit. I freaking love this unit. It's so silly and it's so glorious. Anyway, it's going to keep mowing down enemy infantry in that manner while riding on through them, but also trying to move in to support. If the enemies should try to surround it, we have landmines that we can use, as well as the steam expulsion ability on our steam tanks as well, which we've seen can do massive amounts of damage to to those poor doggos, or at the very least do enough damage for them to get scared and attempt to run away. The enemy army is in disarray from only 3 of these mechanical units running through them, all the while still a little bit under fire from the mortars, though admittedly they haven't done all that much damage at the time. That can't be said, however, for the war wagons with the handgunners in them, who are doing pretty good. They're quite decent at sniping enemy lords, heroes, and single entities. There's an exalted hero following them, following 3 of them by the looks of it, and has already lost about 3/4 of their HP. No, we're so close to having the other 4 landships be on this army and just having a blob of landships just move through enemy armies like this, all the while firing in all directions. And you just gotta love units that can fire in all directions. That's what it's all about. Anyway, the rest of our army moving sort of back towards our main line as our reinforcements have arrived, and the infantry will, serve to keep the enemy pinned in place. It looks like another exalted hero, or actually a chaos lord, will try to follow one of the steam tanks, and I see some damage on this Emperor's Wrath, though I fear that's not actually damage from the enemies, but from our own war wagons firing upon them and missing and hitting the steam tank instead. Not to worry, however, this is not all that much damage, all things considered, and we have the Jade Wizard nearby, ready to pop a Earthblood on the machines. I do feel, however, that machines shouldn't be healed by it. And I know I've said this before, but it would be a nerf, but I still feel like it should be the case. Engineers should be given a repair ability similar to the construct repair ability that necrotechs have with the Tomb Kings, but using magic to heal a tank, I mean, it's magic, so it can do anything, but it can't, so it would just make more sense. Anyway. Yeah, just give the engineers a field repair's ability to repair these guys. Assuming they don't actually have it, I gotta take another look at their tree. I know that Malachi has an emergency repairs thing, and the steam tanks have their own emergency repair as part of the gunnery school, but I don't know whether the engineers have one. Anyway, the rest of the army is moving in, and it's actually nice that this army, while basic and full of garbage stuff, it's nice to see the Imperial State Troops, the basic State Troops, which we haven't seen too much throughout the rest of the campaign since we've been so focused on gunnery and stuff, and do their thing. These units exemplify mere mortal men, after all, and as they will hopefully hold and not allow the enemy to get through, especially with steam tanks causing absolute havoc, charging repeatedly through the enemy lines and just causing havoc in their army. Gloriously so. And the landship about to do the same, trundling down that hill and getting ready to move through the waves of enemy foes. From a cinematic perspective, the thunder barges and the landships they just add so much to the Empire, don't they? Well, the Empire and dwarfs, but soon the Empire as well, as we'll get our own thunder barges. If only we could build some Chaos Dwarf trains, that would be lovely as well. But anyway, looks like a big old brawl down here. Mortars still flying overhead, though we are being careful not to drop too many too close to our own lines, lest they damage them. Our steam tank has gotten at least 1 heal from that Earthblood, though we had to pop another heal on our unit of... or our warrior priest, or rather our arch-lector, so that he didn't die as he was facing off against an enemy exalted hero and or lord. Steam tank trying to get through the piles of enemy pestigores here. And we got another Earthblood coming down, I believe, as well as... I don't know what this is. Oh, that's the Curse of the Slug from the enemy army, I take it, the bound ability. Oh, and Festus is in here as well, though by and large we're going to ignore him. He just has a big HP pool and can heal himself, and we can simply destroy his army, especially considering that despite all his healing, the enemy army doesn't have a lot of units that could benefit from it too much, and just too many units that are... not too many units that are, single entity things like Beasts of Nurgle and Great Unclean Ones and Giants and whatnot. Too much infantry, and they're getting wrecked by our piles of artillery and stuff. Ooh, unfortunately, it looks like one of our war wagons did get caught by some Chaos Warhounds with poison. I'm gonna have to get the heck out of there over there, but otherwise, we're probably gonna be okay. The bounce power has shifted to about 85 maybe percent in our favor, and we're still even getting shots from our archers as well. This will probably be the only time I ever use Empire Archers. I still don't understand the point of this unit when crossbows exist. And even an SFO basically makes everything powerful enough to be usable, but still probably not archers. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're usable, it's just that there's no point. No point at all. And Vanilla's a little bit less good about that. It has a tendency to make units that are just direct upgrades to other units, which ain't so great. There we go. Oh yeah, crossing the other way. Crisscross through the enemy formation of Chaos Warriors will terrify them and force them to break. By the looks of it, the rest of the enemy army will follow suit. Even Festus took quite a bit of damage as the war wagons have been firing away at him the entire time. It's actually quite nice to have a sort of follower army with a bunch of garbage Imperial troops here, because we can essentially harass the enemy army all the way to the trash army, and then just join the lines and have the war wagons set up behind them and destroy all the enemies while firing over the heads of all of those troops. Many dead litter the field, both Imperial and Nurglite alike, but at the end of the day, we don't care about any losses to our secondary army, and I actually don't think any unit got destroyed or even fled the field. They stayed, bravely so. And now, the other lovely aspect about our mechanical army. It's quick and it's got a lot of fire while moving, so the enemy army will try to run and will gun them down while moving as they do. Cannon fire and the mortar fire and whatever we can get into those enemies as they run. And since the landship is so fast, I could probably even get some charges into the backs of those enemies. Anyway, an absolutely glorious battle, and I'm continuing, I should say, to expect great things from the mechanical army, but we can chase the rest off screen. Man, I am having so damn much fun with this army. The landship and the two steam tanks both did for all three, I guess, did fantastic. 31,000 damage, 22,000 damage, and 31,000 damage on them, harassing the entire enemy army all the way to our basic troop army, and killing off around 700 troops by themselves. Almost half of the enemy army, and in terms of damage, just absolutely glorious. We also got plenty of damage on our regular war wagons, at least this one got about 12k, 11k, and all the other ones hovered around 6 to 8k as well. The mortar war wagons 5, 7, 7, 4, 6, and 3. What the heck were you doing? What were you doing? I hope somebody should have gotten, hope somebody got fired for that blunder. We also got a Banner of Eternal Flame, which is very, very nice, as it will enable us to make our fire army. We wouldn't be able to make one without it, but now between the Knights of... Damn, how did I make a fire army with the Empire with my last Imperial campaign? I'm gonna try to remember. Do the Emperor's Wrath steam tanks do fire damage? Well, obviously we need some fire wizards, but, I mean, besides the fire wizards, people, besides the fire wizards. Anyway, let's get ourselves... I don't really need the replenish, do we? Take the money. Take the money. And the remnants of this army will run and... Oh, right, Festus's army didn't run. Oh, I was thinking they'd both be destroyed, but I guess they both will be destroyed in a few seconds. But nonetheless, the defeat trait from Festus is... Okay, Banner of Eternal Flame is that vigor loss reduction and casualty or punishment rate. It's a great defeat trait. And I was thinking that we send Elspeth all the way up here to deal with it, but honestly, she's kind of busy still, and I'd rather not waste her time. And let's face it, her army will always be our strongest army, and it's not like she really needs it. So I think if we were to wipe out Brass Keep, that would be fine. On the other hand, we could besiege it and wait for 5 turns until Festus revives and do that. It's another option. And then, but the only problem with that is that this army would then be doing nothing for effectively 5 turns. There is another option. Use Boris von Sighoffen's army to besiege. Sack it if they sally out. Maybe that's the way to do it. But let's figure this out. You two, kill all this first. And let's hope that the auto-resolve doesn't rip our wagons apart. It has a tendency to kill things like this, chariots and the like, or at the very least to lose a lot of their... No, it was okay. Let's get to the... Still no schematics. Hey, come on, this is basically all gunnery with the exception of that one Jade Wizard game. What are you doing? Give us more schematics. Although, okay, fine, nice, but still, don't bother healing, take the money as well. Alright, now you won't be able to siege the Brass Keep. What you will be able to do is channel, and what you will be able to do is go into encamp. Just for a turn, until we're ready to push up towards Brass Keep itself. And we also have the land ships coming, which will certainly help this this out, but man, what a fun army. It's really fun to control as well. Just like screwing around with pump wagons, I've really been enjoying the land ships. They're effectively... They aren't what I thought they would be, honestly. I thought that they would be essentially either a superior or inferior version of the steam tank, but they're not the same at all. And the fact that they're more like big chariots. They're just like gigantic chariots. That's what they are. Or you could also consider them... I mean, no, I was about to say you could consider them like one big, very big war wagon because they essentially fire in all directions. But they have more mass and melee damage and formation disruption than the war wagons do and aren't nearly as fragile. If you look at the war wagon the wrong way, it'll explode. But these things, they can take a pounding. Maybe we should gift some to Nakari. But anyway, Andreas Meyer, you can... Do we continue recruiting you now? Oh, you know what? We should check. Alright, first of all... Let me see here. Okay, now, so the Emperor's Wrath steam tank, it just does the burnt thing, but it doesn't actually do fire damage, which is a shame. Okay, wait, we need to figure out the fire army. We need a fire army, people. Without fire army, what's the point of anything anymore? Luminarchs technically do fire damage. I'm gonna pop a few Luminarchs in there where you haven't been using them for... why not? Then obviously the Knights of the Blazing Sun. We could pop like 6 of those in there. See, the thing is, I think the Sigmarite faction, I think it's buffed to give fire damage to flagellants. I'm not 100% sure whether that's vanilla or that's SFO or not, but it very well could be vanilla, in which case we would be able to use them... Or wait, or does it give free company militia fire damage? Something. Something is given to something, is what I'm getting at, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. You could start recruiting the knights. It's gonna take a while to recruit them anyway. You know, why not start recruiting them? They're not doing anything right now anyway. And yeah, we need to transfer those Demigryph Knights with halberds, but we could always do that later. We can always get another lord up and running for recruitment. We need more armies for pushing out. Once our borders are secured, we've got Chaos Waste and stuff to fight. We got Bretonnia to retake. We've got all this nonsense going on around Skavenblight and in the Badlands. Got to secure our Dwarfen allies as well. I see Queek Taker. Okay. Alright. Next time I do a Skaven run, I have to name somebody Queek Taker. Yeah. I don't know why that's funny. The language of the Skaven is called Queekish, right? So, I don't know, maybe it's a linguist, I don't know. But anyway. I've completely lost my train of thought after that. I have no idea what the hell I was talking about. So let's just do some building, and let's end the turn. Not even a slight clue. Anyway, what do we have here? Nothing. Nada. And Zilch and Bubkus and It's only 2k. We could upgrade you. It's not like you're... on the other hand, the public order isn't doing... it's a waste of money. Forest of Gloom and Griffinwood. Yeah, you know what? Fine, we'll upgrade you. Oh my lord, 4.4k. Just for you two garbage provinces that don't really do anything. I mean, the upgrades to the Tailors Guild will eventually pay for it, fine. It's a little bit more expensive than I'd like, but I can deal with it. Erengrad, we will actually upgrade the landed estate because we need it to grow. Hellspire Mountains will trade away, so... oh, I guess you can collect the income before we trade it next turn. Myrmidons. Time to go into Council of Burgomeisters. Vorak will start with the marble there. Verdanos, get those exotic animal tamers up and running. And we gotta wall up the border princes before we start the war with Scarbrand. In that light, what I probably should have done is replace the clothier here with more growth. And we're gonna have to prioritize growth until all of these territories are at least tier 3. Not that it takes a long time to get to tier 3, mind you, but it's certainly something to consider. In diplomacy.
Ready.
Heralds of Ariel. We probably found you by virtue of the fact that we've got vision from Aetane now. Nothing else is particularly interesting though. Oslan, not -2 anymore. Oh, it's because we're killing off Festus. But you know what? That's fine. I can't look at everything as a metagame sort of thing, and I feel it's if an Imperial army, a Nuln army, would have the opportunity to knock out the armies of the Fecondites right in the middle of the Empire, they would take it. They wouldn't look to... well, actually, okay, that's not entirely true. I was about to say the elector count of the particular territory wouldn't necessarily look to absorbing the lands of another elector count, but that's not entirely true, as they're kind of... a lot of them are kind of jerks and opportunistic and try to expand their holdings. This is kind of one of the big problems of the time when Vlad should have been given the emperorhood, as it were. As the emperor of his time. Well, when he made Sylvania the richest province and, well, a most effective province, effectively, while all the other elector counts are warring with each other and bickering, and there was a puppet emperor in Altdorf, and all of that. And Vlad became an elector count. Anyway, I'll save the Vlad's the true emperor rant for next time. Or, well, those of you that watched any of my vampire campaigns would have probably heard it already, but anyway. End the turn, shall we? Outpost upgrade available. Which outpost? Kislev? And do you have any stuff we want? Elemental bears, thing in the woods. I mean, do you have... okay, well, do you have stuff we want now? I did want some little groms in a couple of armies. I don't know whether they'd be more effective than what we've got, but just for fun. And you do have the heavy war sleds as well, which I do really like. On the other hand... okay, let's just see here. Ice Court. Defeat Felman Ingerson. You defeat Felman Ingerson. I mean, I guess we can accept the quest, although oh, fine. Defeat Hubas. We'll defeat Hubas instead. It'll be easier to defeat Hubas. Yeah, our allegiance with them is growing decently. We've got okay allegiance with Argwalan, but we checked it last episode, and they still don't have the... Sisters in the Sisters of the Thorn, which is the main thing that I wanted. Though I could see putting a few Zotes in an army that has a Jade Wizard and maybe a Beast Wizard as well. Might be an interesting thing to do. Could combine them with some Flagellants as well. Certainly a thought. At the end of the day, do we want this right now, though, or do we want to get some more stuff unlocked? We do need the ambassador to the Overtyrant before we recruit anything, but we're not recruiting anything right now. Grand Cathay gives us trade tariffs. You know what? I've never known how much money trade tariffs actually give you. That's the thing, because the game doesn't actually separate the tariffs from anything else. I mean, we could do it right now and just check. So we're at 8863 in terms of trade. I'm curious. We'll do this. Ambassador to the Dragon Emperor. 8863 from trade. All right, Ruinous, you can remember a single number. Yes, I can, but that's 4 numbers, people. That's at least 2 times as much. 8863, 8863. Let's see how that changes our trade. I suppose if we are currently building up any trade good things, that might change them as well, but for now we'll wait. We'll 863. And the rest of this is looking good. Kaigas, did you just defeat one of Malachi's armies? You little. Yeah, we're gonna have to help him out. Great Orthodoxy, blah 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 blah. Creator, ready for duty. Huh. 8863 became 10,064? Okay, that's actually quite a lot. A moment. That's much more than I was expecting. We did do one thing, though. We did just build the exotic animal tamer, but a single 20 cages wouldn't have made this much of a difference, would it? I don't think so. Damn, I should have canceled this to have checked it. Alright, we can check it another way. There's another way to do it. Fort Saul. We'll take you, and we'll... Oh, damn, you already have Host Festag up and running. I guess we could turn Host Festag off and see how much it drops. Wait. Can't we host Festag at the Moot? It's already hosting Festag. Damn you, Moot. What? Damn you to hell. I don't know why I'm amusing myself so much today. Asking Nakari. A farm? Yeah, we'll still need to grow the place. Although we need to be careful about our cash right now. But nonetheless, it takes a long time. Man, I don't want to cancel any trade agreements. Eastern Border Princes. Oh, you're actually hosting Festag and you should be in Council of Burgomeisters. Alright, so we're about to drop by 5%. We'll see what this does to our trade. Because what I would like to know is the degree to... the degree of comparison that it... well, the degree to which it makes more money than imperial taxation for 5%. I would imagine 5% is better in things like Drakenhof, which are our cash cow provinces, but doesn't necessarily mean in other places. Alright, 10,064. Let's see what it becomes. I will try not to forget. Marienburg. You can be confederated. The thing is, we want your territories. Quite a bit, actually.
Yes.
I have to think about that. Do we attack them, or do we stay relatively friendly? I mean, there's no real need to attack them, don't get me wrong. Should we destabilize the region is the question. But anyway, Elspeth, you and Helmut need to take Rafrafa and Miragliano. You are going to go for Miragliano first. And, ooh, wait, might be able to take both. You have Siege Attacker, don't you? No, you don't. Oh, I thought the Royal Altar of Graphites would enable you to Siege Attack. That's disappointing. Well, nonetheless, we're gonna give it a try. Go here. And you're gonna follow in a sec. Hopefully there isn't a full stack here at Rafrafa. No, they're pretty much broken. Alright. Go here. Maybe you can Siege Attack? Royal Altar of Graphite should count as a monster. You have Siege Attacker. Right there. Yeah, it's not gonna work. I guess we can use you to take Rafrafa. Not as happy about that. I guess what we could do is transfer him an artillery piece, but I also don't want to do that. So, yeah. Okay, well, we'll figure that out as we go next turn. See if there's anything else we can do. Baldric Zintler. And, wow, look at this. What is up with all these heroes? We probably should not allow them to move into the army. Alright, so here's what we'll do. You're going to besiege this place. But not attack it directly, at least not yet. Calling it defeat. That's a lot of Chaos Warriors and Chosen and stuff, but I sincerely doubt that. We are going to, I don't know, pop the Banner of Eternal Flame on one of these guys for now, until they're ready to go, or until the Fire Army is ready to go. You are going to move up here as well. You are going to transfer the land ships next turn, apparently. You can't reach. Alright, fine. Okay, you're gonna transfer the 4 land ships to this army, and then you're gonna delete yourself. You're only level 1 after all. And you'll go into another army. Why pay an extra, like, 1,000 gold just to keep you here? For a turn. Can't possibly transfer land ships now, can you? No. Oh well, not a big deal. You don't have anything. I should have probably popped a messenger on him so that he'd go there faster, but there we go. Yeah, that was exactly 1,000 gold, wasn't it? Next up, you, sir.
Master Engineer.
Are you good? You outie? Malice Darkblades arrived on Norska, and it looks like he's reasonably friendly with Sigvald. Yeah, there's some stuff to fight over there. But I'm more concerned about our allies in Malachite dying. I want the dwarfs alive, so I think we're actually going to go this way. For now. We'll probably loop back around. Suffer a little bit of attrition, I don't mind. And yeah, these guys have lots of stacks here as well, because this will help Malachi and it will help Boris, who appears to have lost another territory, which ain't good. Hopefully he doesn't get killed by Archie before we bail him out. Varg Camp can go to you. And do we actually want anything from you? Wow, 85. Do we want you to declare war on anybody? Would this help us in any way? Not really. I mean, we could just let them continue dealing with Norska. I'm fine with that. If we tell them to attack the Goromadni tribe, they'll leave Norska, and then Wolfric will just take everything back, which I don't like. How much money would they give us for this? 6.9k. That's basically all of their cash. Look, it's a nice idea, but I think we just give them the Varg Camp. Wait, one thing to double check though. Varg Camp is part of the Monolith of Catan and Serpent Jetty. Yeah, we can give it to them. I was wondering whether we should give it instead to the Masters of Innovation, but they can push down this way instead and take stuff from the Chaos Dwarfs, because I'm sure that would amuse them. Varg Camp, yeah, go for it. Alright. And Ulrika, keep on moving.
My hunger does not wait.
Expert in innovation.
Come on, come on, come on. There you go. Alright. Next up, we do a little bit of building. And hey, this is good. Wait. We completed more engineer capacity, meaning we can get this one with Hawkland scopes. You, sir, we're going to join Elspeth's army. I mean, she currently has an engineer that's such a high level, I'm disinclined to lose him, but do we really need the 2 Hawkland scopers? 15% range for gunnery infantry and gunnery cavalry, so it's a lot of extra range on the, these guys, and they do make up the bulk of our army. Though we do have a lot of artillery in here as well. On the fence. I don't know, think about it. We'll put them in an army because it's too good of a trait to miss out on. I just don't know that that is necessarily the army. Just to double check, Master Engineers. Now, still lots of Master Builders, but I feel like Master Builders should be any kind of building, not just military buildings. I feel like those are transferable skills, no? Back to rifled barrels. And I want to end one more turn. Assuming there's nothing else important to build, we can immediately upgrade Lucchini. Solend. Nothing. Western Border Princes, something. You can, I was about to say go Weaving House, but now we have to prioritize the Guard House all along the Border Princes. And the rest of our main territories are probably stuck, in the sense that we can't do anything there. And we are just going to build capacity stuff in most of them, so nothing right now, yeah? Actually, Beckhoffen, you will want to build two things. Thing the first, a gunsmith. Thing the second, either a wizard's conclave or possibly a paved road. We can build a paved road after. Let's go for the wizard's conclave. We need more wizard capacity, and this is the way to do it. Well, Gardens of Morr are the other way to do it, but let me just see here. This one's gonna get deleted. So the 2 Gardens of Morr that we would want to build, not this one, because the upkeep reduction in adjacent regions doesn't really do anything for us. Global recruitment duration is only army... not big on this one. All armies fighting undead versus replenishment time minus 10% for Knights of Morr, specifically. It's only 10%. I'm inclined to say the Amethyst College is by far the better one. So we build these everywhere, essentially. We build 3 or 4 of these and then leave the Knights of the Black Rose chapter house at Nuln, I guess.
Invention is my gift.
Do we even need the Knights of the... What does this give us again? It It does give us global recruitment duration -2 turns, minimum 1 for armies in region, making global recruitment very quick here, if we should desire to use it. For the Gardens of Morr, I take it? Or wait. Yeah, demigrowths would normally cost 4 turns, unless I'm mistaken. So here they're built just as quick as here, though they cost 3 times as much due to the global recruitment. I mean, there's still some value in it, but for now, besieging thing. I don't think they're going to react to this in any way, so I think we're ready to end the turn, so let's do it. And let's see if anything interesting happens, but otherwise we're just about out of time here. Hagriff, I very much expect Hagriff to declare war on us sooner rather than later. We'll have to keep an eye on that, especially if our army getting ambushed. A Warherd of the Shadowgave will attack Argwalon, sure. We're too far to be concerned about that in any way. And did Kurun just lose a territory, or did they gain a territory? They gained a territory, okay, that's fine. And defensive alliance with Marius Lightdwarf, no. I mean, we could go defensive alliances with all the Imperial territories if we really wanted to. I might do it just because. Feels lorefully kind of proper.
To war.
But otherwise it appears that nothing else is needed. Anyway, folks, with that we are out of time, and I'm gonna have to call the episode here. Next time, we will complete the destruction completely of the Pirates of Sartosa, which will mean we can build a Garden of Morr at Sartosa, and also grab the Skull Reef, and then teleport ourselves out. Probably to the north somewhere. Maybe send... I mean, the war isn't going too bad against the Broken Axe, but yeah, we'll have to send Elspeth somewhere. You just have to figure out where. She will eventually be fighting Skarbrand down here, but that isn't happening yet. We will probably want to knock out Be'lakor, and where are you going? Are you just chasing Be'lakor's armies around while all of Bretonnia is in absolute shambles, Lewin? I can see why, I can see why it's in shambles if this is the kind of ruling that you do. Alright, we can also teleport up here to knock out Lorelorn Forest and get this landmark for ourselves. And can keep waiting for a few turns if we wanted to on Barras Keep. Or we could just destroy them and send the army elsewhere. In fact, you guys let me know what you think about that, though I probably won't see it until the episode after next, since the next one will be coming in relatively quick. Anyway, more Elspeth to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. Let me know your ideas about what we can put in the Fire Army as well, aside from the Knights of the Blazing Sun, because we do have relatively limited units that actually do cause fire damage. The Banner of Eternal Flame would enable us to make any artillery piece as fiery. So we could make fire artillery in that manner, or we could use troops and give the Banner of Eternal Flame to the front line and make them do fire damage instead. Obviously in combination with the Luminarchs and Knights of the Blazing Sun, which are already fire damage. But I don't believe there's anything else in the roster that is. Wait, you know what? Wait. Just so I don't forget before next episode. Is there fire damage? And obviously we'll get some fiery Dwarven or Cathan units, but that's besides the point. Are there regiments of renown? Or Elector Count state troops? Oh, it's a Luminarch, yeah. Or Elector Count state troops that do fire damage? Ah, the Stir River Patrol. Okay, got it. Oh, right, that's what I did in the Karl Franz campaign. Stutzen's guns also cause fire damage. Alright, well, we know what we'll be spending money on. We need the Stutzen's guns and the Stir River Patrol. Unfortunately, they're in different parts of the thing, but they need to be up and running. So, where are Stutzen's guns? Here. Oh, together with the Emperor's Wrath, which we already have. Oh, speaking of,
Work to do.
we have another one up and running immediately, which might mean we want to get it up and running right now so that we can pop it into this army. I mean, we could do an all-Emperor's Wrath army with this one. Anyway, I'm rambling and I'm having a fun time, so it always makes the episode drag out, but for now, calling it. More stuff to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the Threshold. Next episode soon. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.